as always, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. That is the true power of heaven and earth, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. Also want to give double honors to Elder Tahar and the rest of the elders that are fervently pushing this word, whose labors I've entered into. And honors to all you fellow laborers that also keep this word in sincerity and faith. Shalom to all you sincere believers. And the body Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Kayaha, Rakakadash, the Holy Spirit which is moving me to do this lesson. I'm on the way to the client. Then I got another client that I'm going to head up to Reno. And I saw the brother Nachawam come on the common board, and I was meditating on him and the brother Tamayan La. So I was watching those brothers, and those brothers are on fire. I was watching that brother Sakala yesterday as well, brother Yahweh, just watching different brothers. We're watching the brother Warrior. And these brothers are on fire, and in particular, I was thinking about Tamayan Lab and Nakawam, because when them two and the brother Yahweh were out on the West Coast, obviously Tamayan, he lives in the area. That's why he's out with me a lot of the time. But Yahweh and Nakawam, they were out. We brought it out in Sacramento. We went to San Francisco. We brought it out, and then we went up to Reno. And the brother Tamayan Lab in particular, he said, "Man, it's heavy that you don't have any children." Because I'm 37, so generally, you being an Israelite man, by the time you're 37, you're gonna have a gang of children. And then he said, "Hey, but really, you got us as children, because those brothers consider me as a spiritual father." And really, each generation should be getting better and better. That's what my parents told me. Them being born in 1960, myself being born in 1984, the whole goal is for each generation to get better and better. And so me watching, the brother Tamayan last night, Tamayan live, because he went live, and that was the first time that I saw him live, and I was like, all right, beautiful, because, hey, to be honest, a lot of the times I'm not going to catch somebody's street speaking unless it be live. That's just how it goes. I may catch you at I might catch a sit down, but it's really rare for me to watch somebody when they're out there on the highways and edges at the altar. Let's catch them live. So it was beautiful, and that brother was just in the spirit, man, just totally in the spirit. And I was just meditating on when he first, came, to the altar. He had the water, and I could tell he didn't really have any intention on preaching the word. Hey, but the brother's just grown, and that's what we're supposed to be doing. Like it says in 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter, "Wherefore, putting aside all malice, hypocrisy, guile, evil speaking, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby." It says in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, we're supposed to grow in grace. Because I've seen these brothers grow exponentially. And I was also joking with my client that I'm on the way to see. She was a little late, and I said, "Oh, fine, no problem." And I told her about that Michael Jordan compilation, where it was all the times that he took things personal, and it was taken from that Last Dance documentary. And when you watch that documentary, it's heavy because Michael Jordan coming into the league, who were the star players in the league at that time? You had Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. And Magic Johnson said that Michael Jordan was the most talented by far that he's ever seen. So although these are Hall of Famers, in Michael Jordan's either second or third year, they perceived, hey man, this guy's the future of the league. And so they put their ego to the side. They wasn't hating on the man. They acknowledged his greatness. And just like you got, and I use a lot of basketball analogies, football analogies, just as Paul did, just as our forefathers did, because we become all things unto all men, that we may save some. Because when we use these analogies, you can have a clearer picture of what we're trying to convey through the spirit. So you have men like Jason Tatum, right? Which he ascended this past year. Those of you that follow basketball, now he didn't reach the pinnacle because ultimately he had a bad finals. Andrew Wiggins was just stalking his ass all around the court, made his life difficult. And ultimately, it's not his time. And unfortunately for him, the way it's looking, it's not going to be another basketball season. I would be shocked, hey, because basketball starts in late October. It's hard to imagine the bread and the circus continuing, the state of this world and how it's devolving into a third and really fourth world state, something we've never seen before. But see, theoretically, if this place was to keep going, hey, he would be one of them guys. He'd be along with Doncic, which I know, hey, the brother Tamaim Lob don't like him for nothing. Hey, but that's just the truth. Him, Trae Young, see, this is the new generation. So if you're spiritual, you'll perceive that. You'll say, hey man, this is the new generation. Just like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they perceive, hey man, hey, this is the most talented man by far. He's the best. Although he wasn't the best player at that time, they understood the trajectory that he was on. Now the scriptures say in the book of Philippians, the 2nd chapter, let us do nothing through envy and strife or for vainglory, but let us esteem one another, the next man better than himself. My brother can put that, the brother Mayim, I see you're on the comment board. If you could put that, Philippians 2, verses 3. You know what? Start at the top and go through like verse 5. Hey, because what you see is there's a lot of younger brothers coming into this, and they're of quick understanding. And you see that older men are really like threatened by them. And so you'll see they'll set them up on councils. They really make their life a living hell. And that's why when I see brothers that are clearly just on a different level, talent-wise, just as Michael Jordan, I really be praying for those brothers, because I understand that spirit of envy that's real heavy in Israel. You have men that have been around, maybe my contemporaries, and they'll feel threatened at these brothers coming up. And because myself, my whole thing is, okay, hey, this brother, hey, he's one of them, even though he don't see it within himself, but you can see the potential, because you can see that this man has the mind to apply himself. This man actually is striving for the mastery. So then you understand, all right, this brother, you can work with this brother. So when you see that brother ascending, you're not supposed to feel no certain type of way. Just as Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they didn't feel no type of way. But you had men like Isaiah Thomas. Supposedly they led a freeze out of Michael Jordan in the All-Star game after his rookie year. They're like, man, who is this guy coming on the scene? Hey, because the league was really pushing Michael Jordan, but then the Pistons was like, hey man, what about us, the bad boys, right? And so the bad boys, they did actually beat, the Celtics. They're underrated. A lot of people don't like to refer to them as a great team, but they were a great team. But ultimately, they ended up being eclipsed by Michael Jordan and the Bulls. And they were, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, they were fighting vehemently to stop that. But see, that was just in the cards, man. That was in the deck. So you, as a spiritual man, you're supposed to see that, because you got to say into the world, people want to see you doing good, but not better than themselves. And see, that is not the mindset that we're supposed to have. Us as spiritual fathers, we're supposed to be raising our spiritual children to be as good as us and even better. But you have men, because of their pride, they don't want to see that. They don't actually want to see a brother reach his full potential, because then that's going to hurt their pride. So I'm gonna go on this in the book of Philippians 2 verse 1, and then also, brother, can you put 1 Timothy 5 verses 21 and 22? So Philippians 2 verse 1, if there be therefore any consolation of Mashiach, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, of any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that you be like-minded. That's right. So it's all about being like-minded, having the same love, right? So it's all about spreading love, real love, not withholding things because you're like, oh man, if this brother gets this, man, he gonna be like me. You have a lot of men that are in that spirit. They want to keep a brother under them, subject to them, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, right? Because you have a lot of men, they want the glory to go to themselves, which really the glory is to be to Yahweh and His Son Yahushua, because ultimately we're all coming back in our lot. I was meditating on that brother, our one, the brother Mysteries of the Kingdom, because I would see him on the comment board a lot. This is when I had GMS SF discussion. I said, man, let me check this brother out. He would always leave fire precepts. And I started watching his videos. I said, man, where did this brother come from? On fire, man. The brother's on point. That brother, I don't know the brother's name, GMS Kingdom Minded, the brother out there in Mississippi. I hadn't seen that brother because the Mississippi congregation, they've been around for a while, before myself. The brother War, Kazak, the other brother Spirit Wind, Judah. I'd be forgetting that brother's name. But them brothers been around for a while. But then that brother, I saw that brother, I said, man, who's this brother? Where'd he come from? And he got it. And then I see that him and that brother R1, they clicked up, because ultimately, regardless of when you come into this, you come back in your lot. Because you have a lot of men that came in 1992, and as Elder Tahar always gives a testimonial, damn near all of them fell out except for like 2 or 3. Because those men just crept in unawares. You know, they got the ball rolling, so to speak, but ultimately, it wasn't in the cards for them to be saved. Now, this is the generation where we see a lot of men that are coming back, and they're actually the true servants, the true prophets. And that's why they come in and they're on fire. Again, I was watching the brother Tamayan Live, and I said, oh man, this brother got it, man. And he was breaking it down, just going precept upon precept, and the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah is with him. So watching the brothers Ariyah, Nakawam, and Shamgar, and them brothers was just in it, man. And the brothers is going non-stop. And so we're supposed to see that, we're supposed to commend that, and we're supposed to encourage brothers to do even more, even if that ends up eclipsing you. Hey, because if that's that brother's lot, you want that brother to fulfill his lot, even if his lot is greater than yours. But see, that's why we have to examine ourselves. Because myself, I don't have any problem with that. I'm actually encouraging brothers, you know, to reach their max. But see, you have men that see that as a threat. It's, oh man, well, say they're in the same camp. Well, man, if these brothers keep going, well, where am I going to be in the whole scheme of things? Where am I going to fit in? I'm the leader. But now everybody's looking at this brother as a leader, and he's a young man. And that's why a lot of these young brothers be having so much friction and tension in these congregations, because the existing leader or leaders, they can't keep up with this brother. His spirit really eclipses theirs. And so then that envy and that jealousy, that hatred, that evil eye comes in. Just as Saul began to eye David. See, what did he say? And what can he have more than the kingdom? They ascribed unto David killing tens of thousands, but Saul only thousands. And he said, what can he have more than the kingdom? You have men that have that mindset, because they actually value that authority that they have. All right, so let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, but in lowliness of mind let each esteem other better than themselves, right? And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be esteeming others better than ourselves. We're supposed to be pumping brothers up, not inflating their quote-unquote ego, not in pride, but really commending a brother and letting a brother know, hey brother, you're on the right path, man. You got it. Giving some pointers, some suggestions, in hopes that they wax even stronger and stronger. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. That's right. All right, because it's all about the body of Mashiach Yahushua. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Mashiach Yahushua. Absolutely. 1 Timothy 5 verse 21. I charge thee before the Heavenly Father and Ha'adawan Yahushua, Mashiach, and the elect angels, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, right? Can't have respect to persons, doing nothing by partiality. That's right. You know, because you have brothers that will see a young brother and he's on point, and then there's naturally going to be tension if there's somebody that's on fire and there's one that's lukewarm. But a lot of times, the side will be took for the man that's been around longer, because he's been around longer. Relationships have been established. So now you're partial, and you see that a lot. And again, that's why I be seeing these brothers that come in on fire and they get it. And I'll be really praying for those brothers, man, that right, John was Hadawan's favorite, but Peter has the keys. Absolutely. Well, look at Paul, man. Paul was really eclipsing all of them in the work, and he mentioned that. But ultimately, the order is Peter. And when Peter was going off, Paul withstood him to the face. Hey, because we're all set up to keep each other accountable. Now, does that mean that Paul is above Peter in the order? Of course not. But see, that's just how it works, man. And that's why, Paul in 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, he went into the bickering back and forth between those that came up under him and those that came up under Apollos. He said, hey, look, man, we're all servants of Hamashiach Yahushua. And one thing about children, right? Because brothers coming in, they're as newborn babes. Children are very honest. You know, children tell you your breath stink, you're ugly. They'll just say, they'll tell the truth, man. They'll tell the truth. And that's how these brothers are, you know, coming into this. Hey, because there's a narrative put forth that us brothers that have left the camp, whether we were suspended, kicked out, left because we had some tension, friction, that we've developed a grudge and a hating spirit over the years, and that hating ass spirit, that grudging spirit, has rubbed off on these brothers. So now brothers are looking at men that have been around for a long time some type of way, and that's actually for, I got that rock there. Yeah, I went to Pyramid Lake. There's a reservation, the Paiute, and I got some stones and different rocks, and I got some on the floor in my smoothie bottle. Just, I was like, man, I hope it don't fall on that rock and break it. A lot of smoothie. Hey, the Wadi Al-Bashi Mal-Shad. Hey, but that's actually the furthest thing from the truth, because, hey, truth be told, hey man, these brothers coming in, they see things and they don't agree with it. You know, they just see things straight, because again, they had that honesty. You know, they're not clouded by a respect of persons of, oh, okay, well, I like this brother, I grew up watching this brother. And a lot of these men, they don't know him from Adam. All they're looking at is the spirit that they're in. They don't say, man, well, why is this guy prophesy with his head on? Why is he always drunk? Or why he look like he high? Or why do people watch him? Because they don't perceive that this man's in the spirit. I know you know that this man don't be going out to the highways and hedges. I know you. So then they're looking at you like, what do you to rectify the situation? And then brothers come to me, I'll say, I reprove this man. You know, I exhorted this man. I rebuked this man. Hey, because I didn't have personal conversations with a lot of men. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually at my client, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue this one a little later once I get back on the road. I'll go ahead and continue because yeah, I'm already here at the client. Shalom, brothers. Yahba Shemel Shabrakathum. Shalom.